Howdy, gang, and welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host, here at the Gaming Gang channel. Thanks for joining me once again. Today, I am going to unbox and take a first look at Mutant Year Zero Zone Wars, Robots and Psionics from Free League Publishing. This is designed by Andy Chambers with Thomas Harenstam, and this box set is available now. Carries an MSRP of $69.99. So let's swing on over to the other camera because here I've got Robots and Psionics for Mutant Year Zero Zone Wars. So let's get the shrink wrap off. Yesterday, I shared a first look at the core box set, and now we're going to take a look at the first expansion, which is Robots and Psionics. But before we do, I do want to mention that my friends over at Free League Publishing were kind enough to provide me with this review copy. But neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this coverage with you. It's very important you know that. So let's take a look at the back here. So this expansion set expands the game with 2 more factions, allowing up to 4 players in a multi-faction mayhem. It's going to talk about what's in this box. And if you want to learn more about the rules for Zone Wars, I took a quick peek at the rule book. We didn't take a deep dive into the rule book because I'm going to save that for the review. But it did give us a bit of an idea of how to play. So here we've got some punch boards. So we've got some tokens. Looks like we have got some more terrain. Some more tokens here as well. We'll take a peek at those. Then we've got a scenario book. Oh, so that's just showing us how to build this cardboard terrain. So this looks like we've got a big section of building here, as opposed to some of the small, almost like ruined houses that we had. So pretty short scenario booklet here. We're going to actually take a far closer look at the various different psionics and the robots, as well as the cards and the dice, in just a few moments. But first off, let's take a look at the scenario booklet, because we have, I'm guessing, 5 scenarios. Monster Bonanza. Something stirs in the zone. The critters of the wastelands are getting restless and more aggressive, an increasingly deadly threat to all stalkers. But what menacing force is behind this sudden change? So this is for 2 to 4 players. And of course, we had the battle mat in the core box. So that's what this is here. It's dual-sided. It was treated. Looked pretty nice. Looked like it held up pretty well. The Hydra rises. There are whispers in the zone about the Hydra, a murderous mutant chieftain who can control the minds of stalkers, turning them into puppets to his malevolent will. The stalkers are about to learn firsthand of his powers. So there is the introduction to our psionics. Escorting the Emperor, the humans of the ancients have come to the zone, their underground enclave home, having finally collapsed. Their leader, Maximilian Kilgore, has declared himself Emperor of the Dominion and Protector of the Realm. But now it is he who needs protection against the Hydra's deadly marauders. Then we have beacons of hope. The Hydra's power grows, with ever more zone denizens falling to his malevolent will. The few brave stalkers still resisting his will have learned that his psionic influence is spread across the zone using 4 ancient beacons. If these are destroyed, the Hydra's slaves will be freed from his group. And then we have the final showdown. This is the end game, the last stand. The day has come for the factions of the zone to lay their differences aside and join forces to defeat the Hydra once and for all. The future of the Dawn world rests on the shoulders of these brave stalkers. Very cool. Very nice. So as you can see, in Zone Wars, you can play out a bit of a campaign. Pretty cool. So there we've got that. And of course, then we also had the instructions on how to put the cardboard terrain together. We have another set of tokens, which we had this same punch board in the core box. Also includes another range ruler for us. And then we have these 3 punch boards of the terrain. It is dual-sided. And the cardstock is pretty thick. Pretty thick. We get a few more trees, it looks like, a couple more trees. And then we have some new tokens for some of the monsters. So it looks like there's the Hydra, the Killer Tree, and the Sniper Bug. So there we've got those. It looks like we've got a car. It looks like it's operating too. It doesn't look like it's a wreck or anything. Very sweet. Very cool. All right. So what we're going to do next is we are going to take a look at the cards, the dice, as well as the miniatures. And I am going to zoom on in for a much closer look. I've taken the shrink wrap off of the cards. We'll take a look at those in just a second. We also get more dice. So we get more of the basic dice, which have the radiation symbol on the 6 side. And then we have the biohazard on the 1 side. And then we get more gear dice, which also have that radiation symbol and then a blast symbol on the 1. So we got those. We get more starting gear and more characters. So we're not going to look at all of the characters, but give you a closer look here. So these are the robots. And I guess we've got a guest starring appearance from Futurama because we've got Bender. So it's going to show us our ranged melee, survival, and health values, starting gear, and then what module cards they get. So we have mutations, we've got modules, we've got psionics. So those are various different cards you're going to attach to the various characters. Then when they're bloodied, you're going to flip that card over. So during combat, the first time the health value is equaled or exceeded, the character is essentially knocked out of action until they can recover, and then they've been bloodied. And then if they've recovered, they're bloodied, and then this value is exceeded again, met or exceeded, I guess I should say, then they're out of action. They're out of the fight. So we've got Bender, Mecha King, Mark 14, Wrecker, Scrappy. Then we move into our Nova Cult. These are the Psionics. Plutonia, Tula, Psycho. So 5 of each faction. Then we get into our zone cards, which can be events. They can be caches of artifacts, gear, monsters, and so forth. Acid grass, trigger, magnetic field, probability field, killer tree. That's a monster there. Zone geyser, centipede snake, sniper bug. And of course, the cardstock, pretty nice. And these do have a linen finish. Then we get into starting gear, modules, and then our psionic mutations, and then artifacts. So the starting gear, these are for the characters here: scrap pistol, scrap rifle, flamethrower, club. The modules, these are for the robots: backup system, holophage, wire system, pincers, psionic mutations here. And these are all unique. Each one of these cards at least if it's the same as the core set. These are all different, so there are no duplicates here. I thought that was kind of cool. Beast Master, Parasites, Telekinesis, Electric. And then we've got our artifacts, Maser Pistol, Jerry Can, Wrench, Lawnmower. Now, these look to be different than what we had in the core set. Armchair, toy gun, a yo-yo, can be used as a melee weapon. All right, so these are the various cards, plus the characters and the zone cards. Now we're going to take a peek at the miniatures. And these miniatures have a sun drop wash to them. So as you can see, the details pop on these. And we were taking a look at the core box, and the miniatures, the sculpts are really nice. Have some pretty good heft, not real soft plastic either. Now, of course, there's some give on this because it is plastic, but you paint that up, that's going to hold nicely, not like some plastic miniatures we see from some companies where you paint these up. If you don't treat that plastic to stiffen it up, that paint is going to flake right off. Now, this robot, if I remember correctly, I think this is from the cover artwork of one of the Mutant Year Zero books that actually tackles robots. Pretty sure that this is the character that's on the cover holding the skull. Ah, yes, Yurik, I knew him well. These look really nice. Definitely digging the detail on these. So, of course, obviously enough, this is the robot faction. And the base size is pretty standard. Looks like it's about an inch. And these are about 32 millimeter in scale. And these will paint up really nicely at that scale too. That's why we tend to see more and more miniature sculpts that are 32, sometimes even 34 millimeters in scale. It's simply because more detail can be added and they'll paint up far nicer. Then we've got our Psionics, our Nova Cult. Let's try to get that back in view here. There we go. I have to say that the Sundrop wash to these, not as effective with the purple plastic. Plus, the purple plastic, it's dark plastic, a little more difficult to paint up dark plastics unless you're going for like metallics and things like that. But of course, we've got the different colors for people who aren't going to paint up their minis. So you can tell the factions apart. These are really cool. I like these a lot. It's like they've got it's like a scrap rifle. And here is our final member of the Nova Cult. It's like another scrap rifle here. And of course, you could utilize these miniatures in any science fiction sort of miniature game or role-playing game too. If you're playing Mutant Year Zero or really any other kind of post-apocalyptic science fiction game, yeah, these would work really nicely. All right, let's swing on over to the other camera because that is a first look at Mutant Year Zero Zone Wars Robots and Psionics. Of course, I am going to have a review of Zone Wars in the very near future. All right, that is it for this time out. If you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that bell because it'll not only let you know when I share videos such as this unboxing and first look, it'll also inform you when my live stream, the Gaming Gang Dispatch, airs Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings right here on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit gaminggang.com for all latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more you are not going to find here on YouTube. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thank you very much for watching. And until I see you next time, I certainly hope all of you get to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.